All right, let's stop the stalling here. Let's get started. What do you think? There's a lot to talk about. A lot on my mind. I hope everyone has been doing well in the markets. If you were here for the last stream, I was a little bit under the weather. I'm like 90% now, so if you still hear it in my voice, that's why. So still a little bit unwell, but almost there. So if I just randomly stop talking or mute, I'm just hacking up a lung. So don't worry about it. I'll be back. But yeah, I appreciate you all for stopping by. Hopefully you have some discussion points ready to go. Some tickers, something that's on your mind that you'd like to discuss, anything. Hi, Barrett. How are you? All right. Let me click this. And here we have it. Bitcoin, a new all-time high. It feels great. It feels great. It really does. It's one of those things that's expected. So I don't really celebrate too much until the price is above 7 digits, but it's still nice to see. It's still nice to see that we have this absolutely incredible strength. I know that, well, hopefully you've seen some of my posts over the last few days, and The strength is just so unbelievable that people who are coming up with some kind of bearish argument, I just am struggling to see their point of view, when typically I'm open to seeing both sides of the argument. But this is one of those times where I feel like it's just so clearly strong and bullish that, yeah, I mean, it's just incredible strength. So it's amazing to see. Really, really great to see. So Bitcoin, I did a post on this a little bit before I went live, but really there's two lines that you need, two higher time frame lines. It's 106.1K and 99.1K. Of course, it's so interesting because, you know, because we are at a new all-time high, things look strong. It feels like we'll just never see 99.1K again, or really lower prices anytime ever, which of course is something that you only feel because we're in the moment and things are going great. But it's going to happen. There's going to be a sell-off. There's going to be a little bit cascade lower. Things can't always be green at all times. So in those moments, it's very important to have your higher time frame levels highlighted, understand where we are in the grand scheme of things, and try and base your decision around that. Okay. So of course it's much easier said than done, but just have your high time levels highlighted and try your best to block out anything else, because we all know when the first sell-off does happen from this range, significant sell-off, significant, you know, hourly candle to the downside or a few hourly candles to the downside, these people are going to be coming out of the woodworks and saying, oh, I told you this was such a scam. I told you this is the top, this is the macro top, whatever they may say. But again, it's important to have those higher time frame levels highlighted. So also with looking at these higher time frame levels, you're asking yourself, well, what am I going to do? Because price is so far, not really, but price is far from the higher time frame level to the downside. I don't have anything to the upside. Maybe I could use a fib tool and get some upside target, but really you just need one pattern. I have a video on this already, so it's not like I'm gatekeeping any of this content, a public video. All you're looking for is this pattern. That's it. Okay. And this looks very simple. It is, but this will look very simple. In the moment, it may be a little bit difficult to buy, but what's a good example of some H1 consolidation? Probably on Fartcoin, I'll give an example, but that is essentially the pattern you're looking for, just this H1 consolidation, right? Even here on Bitcoin, you could argue that this is an H1 consolidation period, right? So the goal is, when price breaks above the consolidation period highs, is when you enter into a long position. Several layers of confluence is ideal, but if you just have this hourly time frame and, you know, that's all you can work with, then that's all you can work with. And the idea is something like this is the setup. You will see the pattern absolutely everywhere. I highly recommend you check out the video I have on my YouTube. I think the title is like, this is the only setup you'll need in 2025, something like that. I go into a lot more detail, give much better examples, but definitely be aware of that pattern on anything, on any altcoins, anything. Hello, Barrett. Hope you're doing well as well. Nice to see you. Nice to see your name. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Can't wait for the next UB trade. Hello. Hello. Hello, Rapture. Hello, Alex. Hello, Bob. I have PTSD from enough cycles to know that it's gonna nuke at some point. And in these moments, it'll feel like it will fall forever. The moment that great champions are made when you press green. Correct. The sidelines will be calling the top every 5 minutes, and eventually they'll be right, having made zero money in either direction. That's true. That's true. And I think that I've said this so many times in the past, but it's worth mentioning again that really anyone from your group chats, anyone on Twitter, anything like that, just treat them as educational, or not even educational, that was the wrong word, entertainment value. I really don't care what anyone has to say about my position, my stance on the market. I really don't care. I don't care what other people have to say in their point of view. I see it as pure entertainment. I have a small handful of people that I have on a list on Twitter that I'm interested in what they have to say, but that's not going to influence my trading decision whatsoever. Thoughts on SUI post-drop? Let's get into it. I'm already in a SUI long position. I have been for a while, from all the way down here. I think it looks strong, especially considering that, I mean, the DEX was fully wiped out, no? And price didn't really do that much. I mean, 10%, 12% on a hack news, but bouncing already. I would say that's not bad. We're also holding the H1 consolidation period here. We have bounced from that level several times. We've chopped at the level. We've reclaimed that level several times. So I would say things are looking completely fine for SUI, and I hope actually that my third take profit is filled. That would be wonderful as well. In terms of an entry point, that's a difficult one. I feel like you're exactly in the middle of this little range here. So really the long setup will happen here. So if there's going to be some consolidation or something around this level, that will be your trigger to enter into a long position. So either we get consolidation below the level, you buy on the breakout of the consolidation and the retest of the hourly range high, or price will just fully break above the level, consolidate above, and then you buy on the break of the consolidation above here. SUI officials and ecosystem core members are holding a space. $160 million in frozen funds can be recovered and will be returned to the LP. The LP and SUI developers are working to recover the remaining 60 million. So it's really not that bad, it seems like. So that's great. That's a huge positive. Can I take a look at Bonk? I would love to take a look at Bonk. I'm glad you asked. I don't know what I have going on this chart. Let's see what's going on here. It looks like price is above some level. It's probably a daily level. Oh, would you look at that? Okay. So daily level, right? Extend this to the right. We can see the recent interactions with the level. We have the high before the sell-off, so I extend that to the right, and here we are. Price is currently interacting with the top of the daily level. So your initial response may be, well, wouldn't I be longing directly into an underside retest of daily consolidation? No. Well, sorry, I was reading a chat message. Yes, technically you are, but given the overall trend and given the strength of the market, I really give these levels a lot less power in my analysis, where yes, obviously they're there, obviously I'll consider them, but because what happened here and before the retest that's currently happening is more important than just this level here, right? We have a deviation below daily levels. We have price reclaiming the daily levels. So now that I have my higher time frame bias, I'm going to swap to lower time frames and try and pinpoint an entry trigger. Well, clearly I could long down at 0.02, right, on this H4 retest. Is that going to happen? Maybe, because price is still fighting with this daily level. So it's possible that we get a retest of that daily level. Fine, perfect. If we don't, we are now fighting with this upper daily level. Okay. So we are currently, testing it on the hourly, really trying our best to hold the level. Great. So I think Bonk looks great. I think Bonk looks great for upside. I will be probably looking at Bonk for a long trigger. Most likely. I have so many different levels I could long. Like I said, I could long this lower level here. 0.02. May not happen, may happen, who knows. I could also long the retest of this H1 consolidation period here. Okay, and then I have the confluence of the daily level of my invalidation point, right? So it looked like something like this. Who knows where my take profit would be, somewhere up here. Something like that. Or if price just doesn't fall from here, it's perfectly valid for me to long on a break above here as well, because we are seeing the H1 consolidation period above our daily level. So it would be something like this. Right. So I missed everything up until this point, 17%. But that does that mean that there's going to be zero trade opportunities now? No, of course not. I just give you 3 different long arguments that you could have. All based on that hourly consolidation setup I spoke about in the beginning of the stream. Hopefully that helped. Can you take a look at Whiff and Moodang? Yeah, I'm pretty annoyed with Whiff. So, I had this level highlighted, right? Very basic level for me to have highlighted. H1 breakout point, H1 consolidation period. I was way too greedy. And didn't fill above the level, unfortunately. And I paid the price for that. But let's discuss recent price action. So let's see what's going on the daily. Okay, nice. So I have a daily level I can work with. I see some H4 confluence as well. Rejections from the level, stalling below the level. So that checks out with the level that I highlighted, which is wonderful. On the hourly, again, still a level that is very important, it appears, for Whiff. Now Whiff is just consolidating on the hourly just below this daily level. So I feel like you should know where I'm going with this one. This is the setup. Something like that. Wait for a break of this consolidation period high. Enter on the break. Invalidation below the low before the reclaim. Take profit 1. I don't know. I could figure that out. But that's a general idea. And let's say it prints just a fat green candle here. That's perfectly fine. You wait for it to bleed down. Bid the retest of the top of the hourly consolidation period. Confluent with an H4 level that is also a daily level. So you have several layers of confluence with this consolidation period as well. So yes, while it does suck that I missed 30%, 26% of the move, that does not mean I have to sit here and be upset about it and sulk and miss the next trade opportunity. So whiff is definitely going to be on my radar for a long position. Take a sip of water here. Mudang. Oh, this coin is so annoying. What do I have to say about Mudang? Let me just quickly go to Popcat then. He says Popcat also looks similar to this setup. Let's see if that's accurate. Already no. Let's see the H4. I mean, I wouldn't say similar. Yeah, I wouldn't say similar. I would definitely argue that whiff is probably the better long because of the several layers of confluence we have. Let me just verify that. Where would I put this daily level? Let's try here. So when I'm doing this, I'm looking for interactions with the level. So candle bodies, wicks, just a bunch of interactions with the level, trying to see what's going on at the level, if there's major moves happening from that level, stuff like that. I mean, if Popcat was 7% lower, it would be a lot more enticing. But this is one of those situations where you're in the middle of two daily levels, so I wouldn't really mess with it right now. What was I looking at? Mudang, yeah. So Mudang, I forget where this level is from. I think it's from this hourly candle here. Hourly breakout point. Wicks bodies into the level as well. Chop at the level. Do I want to long this again? I think... Let me verify this. Hold on. Did I attempt a Mudang long in the Haven? No, I did not. Okay. So it's one I had on my radar, but I never pulled the trigger, probably. Maybe. I forget. But I've been stalking this chart, to be honest. That's why I'm unsure if I posted or not. I've been watching it like a ton. You know, I didn't long here. Probably should have. There was an H1 breakout point. I didn't long this retest yet here. Not sure if I probably should have yet. The issue I'm having with Mudang is this level is just chopped to death. Right? So it was once a really clean level here, all the interactions here as well. Got very, very messy when price was chopping around the level, which is great. That tells me that it was indeed an important level for Mudang. But that doesn't really help with, you know, pinpointing an entry trigger. So I am still interested in Mudang. I'm not sure if it's going to be from here. I'm not sure if I'll wait for a breakout like this, buy the very quick hourly or 2 hours of consolidation before a next leg higher, maybe something like that. I'm not sure. Honestly, that's my genuine analysis. I have no idea what to think about Mudang. I think the meme coins meme coins in general have done very well. So you would expect Mudang to do well as well. But pinpointing that entry is very important to me. That helps with pinpointing my invalidation as well. So I can't just enter because I feel like it. Unfortunately, I just can't do that to myself. So I guess that wasn't very helpful. I apologize for that. Let's talk about Fartcoin. I have not spoken about Fartcoin yet, actually, surprisingly. So big surprise, I nailed another Fartcoin long. I'm approaching my third take profit for about 7.5 R yet again. If you have been struggling lately trading or sidelined, watch Fartcoin, understand how it trades, look at the intraday trading ranges, watch it all day. It is really, really good to trade. I think maybe people are shying away from it because of the mind share that it currently has on Twitter. I mean, everyone is talking about it for good reason, but it's really, really great to trade. So very quickly, I'll do a very quick trade review on this. Before I do that, can you hit the like button on the stream, please? Just so I can see the number go up. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. So very, very straightforward entry trigger. H1 consolidation period here. Extend this to the right. We're looking at all of the interactions with this level. I did attempt another Fartcoin long that got stopped out. I want to say it was in here. It got stopped out. Oh yeah, also subscribe. That would be wonderful to see that number go up as well. Anyway, I attempted one here, fine. Okay. But my general thought process for these H1 consolidation periods or any level is if price is above the level, that is good. That's what I want to see, and I'm really not concerned in any way. So I applied that logic to this Fartcoin level. Clearly, it was being defended. Clearly, it didn't stray too far away from this consolidation period. The lows were swept. We reclaimed the level. We bounced from the level. We continued to hold the level despite this really ugly rejection. So to me, that was perfect, right? That's all I wanted to see. So I entered back into the Fartcoin position, and here we are. The first take profit was a front run of the local highs, I want to say. I'm just checking the Haven right now. It was 1.31. This was actually much lower. So it was a take profit within here. Take profit 2 then was a front run of the local highs somewhere in here, 1.44. And take profit 3, you could see there is 1.6. Okay. The next target for Fartcoin, I mean, it still just looks absolutely unbelievable. If you could take, yeah, look at that. So take profit 3 is based on this high. Okay, just front running that high. Now, very simply, what do you think I'm going to say here? Let's highlight our daily level. Okay. We have a daily level that broke out. It is also clean on the H4. Let's just remove this for a second. Let's remove that. Okay. We have 2 levels now to work with. All we need is 2 lines. We have 2 lines on our chart to work with. A very, very obvious daily level that is extremely obvious on the H4. On the H1, the level was chopped through a little bit, but nothing too crazy, all perfectly fine. Okay. So very simply, the area to buy the dip on Fartcoin is going to be a retest of the H4 highs in here. So that's going to be 1.44. Will there be an exact retest of that level? Maybe, maybe not. But what I personally do is when there's such an obvious level like this, I tend to front run it by a few percent, depending on the asset, obviously, a few percent, so that I know that I will get filled on the position. So that matters more to me than, sitting underwater for however long it may be. I do not care about that at all. So that's going to be the level to buy the dip. Now, what you could do is set blind bids at the level. That's perfectly valid, perfectly fine, whatever. Or you could wait to see the reaction at the level. You could wait to see if price just nukes through the level, but holds just below, consolidates just below, then you buy the reclaim of that level. Then, of course, if there is consolidation at the level, chop at the level, then you buy the break of the consolidation / chop at the level and take profit at the next daily level. That's it. Okay, that's it. Very straightforward. Nothing crazy about it. And then again, it will be interesting to see how price reacts to the daily level I have highlighted here, which is 1.61. Right? Because again, if this retest doesn't happen, this is perfectly fine to buy above as well. To look for the same exact pattern. That's it. Same exact pattern. Okay, let's take a look at Pepe. That's another long I am in. Pepe was a very similar trade setup to Fartcoin. I think maybe it's obvious on the H4. Yeah, just a very clear H4 level. I pinpointed my invalidation on the hourly time frame. Price consolidated below the level before reclaim. So again, that's the pattern that I was just talking about. I entered on the reclaim. Price dipped back to my entry point. Perfectly fine. The trade is absolutely not invalid in any way, shape, or form. And then price eventually moved away from the entry point, which is wonderful. What do I think about the current price action? I think that we are at the highs. So you really can't assume a breakout. Hopefully I hit my take profit too, which is just a retest of the local high here. That would be wonderful. We are currently consolidating on the H1, so if you're feeling aggressive, potentially look for a long position above the breakout of the consolidation period and look to long at to the daily level at 0.0167, something like that. Perfectly fine. All right, see, look at that daily level. Beautiful. But Pepe still looks to be in perfectly fine shape, from my point of view. Perfectly fine. Also, the intraday levels that you have to support a bullish argument is this H1 consolidation period here, which is ideal. So several layers of confluence that Pepe will go a bit higher, which is great. For your entries, do you wait for H1 closes through whatever levels you're watching? Typically, yes. Typically, yes. I'll wait for the candle close of whatever time frame I'm looking at, close above that level to then enter. There are times, like a handful of my Fartcoin trades that I've posted in the Haven, where I won't wait. because of the nature of the market conditions. I just realized the music just stopped. It's just been my voice. Jeez, that's scary. Um, so depending on the market conditions is, how I'll judge that. But typically, like 90% of the time, I'm waiting for that close above the level. How do you stagger your percentage of profits, taking at TP1, take profit 2, etc.? That's a great question, and a question that I get very, very often. Typically, I have 3 take profits on my trades. Now, I'm not going to tell you how you should be taking profit. I think just at a standard baseline, you should take profit whenever you feel like it, whenever you feel like the number is high, and whenever honestly, whenever you feel like it. But when it comes to taking certain percentages at levels, I think it's important to reference your journal in that case, which most people probably won't have. But that's when journaling comes in handy, where you're saying, okay, I'm taking this setup on this asset. This setup typically only goes to take profit 1 most of the time. So for this setup, I'll take maybe 60% profit at take profit 1 and stagger the rest between TP2 and 3. I think you could do something like that. Or you could just have a standard, I don't know, 50, 30, 20, 50, 50, 30, 20, something. Something. Oh, hey, Chase. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate that. I am the Fartcoin goat. So I know that's not the answer you're looking for in terms of take profit 1, 2, and 3, stuff like that, but I really think it's one of those things that is extremely personal to you. And it's one of those things where you should listen to yourself and your trade setups for your take profits. You should not listen to any nerd about where you should take profit. Also, you should be happy with the profit that you take and stop being greedy. I did a post the other day about it was something along the lines of, if you could tell yourself one thing when you first started trading, what would it be? And so many of the answers were to take profit and to take profit more and to not fall into that bag holder mindset. It is something where we don't really allow ourselves to be happy about the profit that we take very, very often. It's something to where we don't take the time to really appreciate it enough. And I think that is extremely hurtful to your overall trading, right? We put so much emphasis on our losses, and the losses can really, really impact us negatively, emotionally, things like that. But we don't take the time to be happy about our winning trades and the profit that we just made, trading these stupid coins. I think it's important to do that. That was not my WhatsApp. That was yours. I have everything muted right now. Thoughts on Pangu? Let's take a look. Oh, this is another one. Pangu's great. We're in the middle of 2 key levels, I would say. Let's check on the H4. Can I adjust this based on the recent price action? Let's go up here. Yeah, that's better. We have already retested the hourly consolidation here. So maybe the Pangu setup would be something like this. Ideally, we get some more action here, whether that's consolidation, whether that's wicks into the level, something like that, to really just give me the confidence that this is actually an important level, right? This H1 breakout point and consolidation period, that this is actually going to be a key level. So pretty ugly chart. It's okay. It's okay. But I struggled to really care about it too much when there's a chart like WIF that I just went over. Right? So very different. Okay, let's take a look at Doge. I'm surprised it hasn't run yet. To be fair, I also haven't been checking it very much. Okay. Well, sweet. We're back above a daily level. All right, well, that was pretty simple. So again, the UB Classic, 2 lines on a daily chart. That's very typical for me. Now, Doge is above this daily level. Doge has consolidated below the level. We are attempting to reclaim the daily level, right? We are consolidating on the H1 time frame above the daily level. So, classic. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm going to say now. I would look too long the break of the consolidation period on Doge. The invalidation point is going to be the low before the reclaim of the level. Take profit 1 would be a front run of the local high, something like that. And that's that. What's nice about this trade setup is I have the daily confluence at my invalidation, or protecting my invalidation, if you will. So I have some confluence there. I have, the FA side of things where memes are just doing well, which is awesome. So Doge is looking good. I agree with that. We are still consolidating though, so technically it could go either way. So that's why I don't buy within the consolidation period typically. So I'll wait for the breakout of that and enter into a long position potentially. Good suggestion. Looking decent. Do you use a fixed time frame to mark key levels, or whichever shows them most clearly? That is such a good question. So, yes, I'll go from the weekly 3-day daily. Yes, typically I'll do that. But most of the time, I won't be able to see what's really happening at the level and how many times that daily candle is actually retesting that level within that weekly time frame. So I do prefer to use the daily. I really, really like to see the amount of interactions with the level. That to me helps confirm whatever argument I may have in my head. Where yes, I could just have the weekly level, which is wonderful. But if I could see that, yes, this level is retested a bunch of times, yes, there's a lot of other confluence with this level as well. That really helps with my overall argument and overall bias. Did you just call me deer? Can we take a look at Peanut and Chill Guy deer? The hell? No, we can't. So market's looking good. We're in good positions across the board. We have a push up from Bitcoin. I mean, the Bitcoin strength is unbelievable. I don't know how many times I could say that, but it's looking great. Bro really just called me deer. What the? Anything else? Is there anything else that looks interesting? XMR. Yeah, I mean, this was obvious it was going to run. I was talking about this months ago. um, what do we have here? Oh, the ticker is deer. Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. Well, you put peanut and chill guy all in caps like a ticker and then deer just normally. So I thought you were calling me deer. I was like, what the hell's going on here? This is like my third stream and I'm already getting catcalled. I understand my analysis could invoke some sort of, sensation. I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't sure what the vibe was. Okay, anyway. So XMR 352 is the daily consolidation level. H4 consolidation as well. Ooh, perfect. Okay. This is so good. All right. So you guys know how I like to look for those daily consolidation periods, right? So on this daily time frame, it's clear where that may be. Right here, right? But when I'm breaking it down to the H4, it's also very clear. H4 consolidation period here, fine. What I really, really, really like is this price action here. Okay. It will probably go unnoticed by a lot of people because it looks like nothing on the chart and people will just be distracted by this larger, more obvious H4 level. But this little stall, this little almost like a launch pad is really, really nice, right? We have this little stall of price action before launching up forward or up higher, sorry, launching up higher. So what I would do is look for a retest of that little launch pad. In my opinion, that has a higher likelihood of filling rather than the obvious level on the daily at 355. Now, yes, that's a difference of 3%, 4%, whatever, but still, it's a difference. And it's one that, like I said, will go very, very unnoticed. That's how I highlighted the bottom on Bitcoin. I have some content on that and the shorts on that, or the short form content, I should say, on that. So I really, really like these little launch pads. I should probably do a video on that, to be honest. But they're pretty rare. But when they do happen, I really like to highlight them. Okay, so something like that. Who knows what take profit one would be? But yeah. As in current price action, nothing really to work with. Right? Just that H1 consolidation period. And I guess now you can kind of see the H1 consolidation period before the move up. It within that little launch pad, but yeah, anyway, that's what I would look for, a retest of 366. Have you covered ETH and SOL yet? I have not. I'll look at SOL though. I'm annoyed with this chart. So I put in the Haven that I was very interested in longing Sol on a reclaim of this. Okay, so let me just delete some lines here. This is chaos. Yeah, I already went through Bonk. I think it looks great as well. Okay, so here we go. H1 consolidation period, H1 breakout point here. Extend that to the right. We have price interacting with this level here. Great. My level is valid. Wonderful. We have a deviation below the level. Wonderful. We have... My headphone just died. Perfect. I don't know if you could hear that. I apologize. We have a deviation and reclaim of the level. So that's perfect, right? Everything I look for, right? The reason why I didn't enter into this long position is I already had long exposure in Pepe and Fartcoin. And that was when Bitcoin, I was pretty unsure about what would happen. And I was sitting slightly underwater on both of those long positions. So I just didn't want to take a full 3R loss if everything got stopped out, which obviously, given the lovely hindsight, is unfortunate that I didn't take it. But I think that it's just another great example of the setups I look for, right? Which is a good educational value at the very least. So in terms of levels now for Sol, I had 4 lines on the chart and says it's chaos. Yeah, that was stressing me out. Okay, so we are now within a larger daily level. So the 2 daily levels are going to be just about 177 and just about 185. Okay, so within here, you really, or I would really approach this where I'm looking to take profit at the next daily level. Whatever my setup is going to be, I'm looking to take profit there. So again, this is absolute chaos, stressing me out. Let's delete these 2 lines. So I have 2 lines again. We have the breakout point here. We have the consolidation. We have the retest of the hourly consolidation. And now we're kind of not quite at the highs or not quite breaking the highs. We're just below. So from this point, there's not much I would do from here because, let's say, where would I enter? Probably, I mean, ideally down here. Down there would be my entry trigger and one that I wouldn't feel too terrible about. But if I don't get it, fine, whatever. Depending on where this consolidation breaks, I would potentially look to buy the retest, something like that. Not ideal because, again, my first take profit is going to be that daily level. Ideally, I front run that take profit as well so that, you know, hurts the overall trade argument as well. So really, I'm pretty stuck to having to buy down here at 177, which isn't a bad thing. It's perfectly fine, whatever. Price could also just bounce from here, hit that daily level, then slowly bleed down back into the next daily level, and that's where I could fill the position. That's also perfectly fine. So I think this 177 level is one where I would like to take a position from, and one that makes the most sense to me. Okay. That's it. That's the thoughts on Sol. Is Fartcoin not my final take profit yet? No. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I also wouldn't mind what is he saying here? I also would not mind a long on Sol around 170. What's going on at 170? Oh, yeah. That's ideal. Definitely. Totally ideal. But given the strength of the market over the last few days, is it likely that we retest 170 at this point in time? I don't think so. So in my opinion, I have a higher likelihood of a trade like this playing out rather than running the risk of being sidelined and waiting for 170 that doesn't come for quite a while when I could be taking trades based on this, right? But the 170 level, perfectly valid, perfectly fine. Totally agree. So we'll see. We'll see what the end of the week brings. Overall, very happy with the market conditions. I'm very happy that people have been doing well as well. And again, look for that H1 consolidation pattern. It is so, so simple. It is absolutely everywhere. Again, I have a entire video dedicated to it. The title is "This is the only trade setup you'll need in 2025," something like that. It's on my channel. Go look. Subscribe to the channel. Look for those H1 consolidation periods. Really ignore what anyone in your group chat or anyone on Twitter has to say about the market. Be confident in your own analysis. Like I said yesterday in one of my posts, usually you don't need a different system. Usually your system's perfectly fine. The issue is, the battle within yourself, and maybe you're a little bit greedy, things like that. So work on that, improve that. If you have been sidelined, it's one of those things that yes, it's unfortunate, it sucks, but you can use that as a feeling where you never want to be in that position again, and you approach the next move a bit differently. This is not the last time Bitcoin is going to hit a new all-time high. This is not the last time, these altcoins are going to pump. There's endless opportunity in these markets. You just have to be there mentally. You have to really not give up on yourself and be mentally strong. So that's my ramble of the day. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, engage with my tweets. I appreciate it. Join the Haven. That would be lovely as well if you feel like it. And if you have any further questions, comments, any tickers that I didn't go over, just tag me on Twitter. I'll get to it. I'll quote tweet it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. Take care.